Okay, we will.
Okay. Okay. So, hi everybody. A very good evening to all of you. This is your host, VJB, also known as Anchor Dipika, and here I am at the Global Wedding Network platform with Laurel Perfumes, and we have Nat Ramaya with us. So, welcome. I welcome you to the show, and I hope we had, like yesterday, we had a great conversation. I am looking forward to a very great conversation with you and all the other people who have joined us.
Thank you.
So, I would always, like yesterday, I asked you about the perfume thing. So, I have one question. Like, before any other question, I would like to shoot up the one very important question: why perfumes?
Good question. Good question. But I'll approach it more holistically from a broader angle rather than a specific perfume angle. At heart, I'm an entrepreneur, whether it's retail, whether it's manufacturing, or whatever. And I have a few ground rules which I use as my compass as I go forward. And one of the prime rules is we look for niches in the market where either there is no competition or there is very little competition and number of players. The reason is not that we are afraid of the competition, but what competition normally does in many circumstances, it kills prices, kills profitability, it distracts you from your broader purpose of building a brand, and as a result, the offering to the customer takes a beating somewhere down the line. So that is broadly. So whatever we do, we look at these ground principles to see, is there an opening in the market which nobody else has thought of or nobody else is doing? And is that something we should go into? So in all the ventures we've been involved in over the last 30, 40 years, we've always asked ourselves these questions before we proceeded. For example, in 1987, we became the first large format bookstore in India. In those years, the largest bookstore in the country was only about 400 square feet. So we saw a huge opening. There was a gap. Is the door half open or is it half closed? We saw the door was fully open. And we said, why aren't anybody else doing it? Okay, for whatever reason, nobody was. So we went and started a 5,000 square feet store against a lot of opposition. Seasoned business guys said it won't work, you won't succeed, you will close down in a year, etc., etc. Fair enough, they have their views, they're entitled to their views, we have our views. We went ahead, we made a reasonable success of it, and we said that every other store we do would be a little bigger. So our first store was 5,000 square feet, and it took off very, very well. And as we expanded into other cities, we kept growing the format so that by the time we came to 2005, our largest store was 50,000 square feet, which is not small under any circumstance. And we became anchor tenants in some of the malls. Surprisingly, a piece of history, Chennai was the first city with the first mall in India, well before any of the other cities came in, way back in 85.
Wow.
Unfortunately, the idea was good, but it is ahead of its time. And the Chennai business team did not understand how they could capitalize on this, and they let it slide. But we were the anchor tenants in that store also, which was called Spencer Plaza. So coming back, the next business we looked at was apparel. I actually came into, I'm from India, I'm from Chennai. I came into Sri Lanka in 1978. And that is the time when the government here had changed and they were moving from a socialist economy to a liberalist economy where they were inviting foreign investment. They had brought up the concept of free trade zones, income tax free environment, no duties, no imports, no export problems. It sounded too good to be true. So we said, okay, let's go and test the waters. Again, what do? We looked at different opportunities and said, where can we be? And in those days, there was the big opening in the textile or apparel manufacturing space. There was nobody there. In fact, we were the third company in Sri Lanka to go out of an export zone into the world markets. Undoubtedly, as the other people came in, they started following a particular pattern. The pattern was sell cheap, go for large volume orders. That was the mantra. And as usual, we never follow the mantra. We always flow up the river. So we went into a completely contrary position, and we said we'll do high-end garments for the bigger brands at better prices, and at the same time, make sure that we are different because we don't want to be part of the herd. The strategy paid off exceedingly well. As a result, in a matter of 2, 3 years, we had about 15, 18 brands working with us, starting from Polo, Ralph Lauren, Gap, Banana Republic, and the works. And we were commanding some of the best prices in the Sri Lankan market because we were different. So the strategy was working well. It seemed to have paid off the second time. At the same time, while we were into manufacturing and while we were into retail, we were also into some investments. So we invested in certain other sectors, like, we have invested in the beer sector in Sri Lanka. We have invested in the palm oil sector in Malaysia and Indonesia. And the family is also invested in other things like jewelry online in India. We are part of an operation called bluestone.com. And my daughter is also handling another tailoring operation called tailorman.com, which is India's only dedicated bespoke manufacturing menswear clothing company. So the concepts were good. There was hardly any people doing it. It's the same principle, not too much competition. So therefore, we were able to spend our time developing the product, giving the customer a great experience, and at the same time building our brand. And of course, just like in the bookstore business, you build the brand well enough, and one fine day somebody comes along on a white horse, wipes you off your feet, gives you an offer you can't refuse, and you take your money and run. That's what happened. So we sold out the Tatas in 2005, and it was a very heady experience. So constantly we have been building brands since then, and wherever we can, it really helps to focus on the brand building, and the platform for all this brand building is quality. If you maintain your quality, you maintain the ethics of how you run the business, and make sure that the customer is the focus. He is the king. He pays your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. As long as you're listening to him and taking pointers on where you should be heading your business, I think it's a great journey. So having said all that and laid the foundation, we are constantly looking for ways to innovate and make new investments. So we looked at perfumes. We saw a huge market again, not only in India, but in all of South Asia and in the Middle East, where we said there seems to be, and we spent a couple of years researching it. We saw a definitive gap in high quality, medium priced perfumes. The Middle East is full of, low price perfumes selling only on price. So we said it looks like a situation that we can enter, and we've been there for 15 years. It's been a nice journey. It's been a very learning journey. And we are now looking at India with a lot of confidence because of the sheer numbers, the masses, the high per capita income levels which are going up. And of course, it's a brand new product in terms of usage. Not too many people use perfume, but who knows? If you persevere and you are able to bring good quality product at good prices, it can change habits, like Kellogg's did to the breakfast market in India. Nobody ate cornflakes 20 years ago, but they persisted, they kept the quality levels up, and now they are a force to reckon with. So we would like to be a name to reckon with in perfumes as the years go by. And I was telling you yesterday, we like to be the Zara of perfumes in this part of the world. Small, effective, but totally focused on the customer and totally focused on range. That's
I
brief
told you,
answer
like
to that.
I also told you that I really like these lines that you want to be the Zara of the perfumes. That's really nice. So this is the question why. I got the answer for the why. Now it is about your journey. Like, how was your journey like so far in this perfume business? I understand, like perfume. Like we were talking about how long does a perfume really takes time to endure its fragrance and then all the testing and all. So, like, how was your journey?
Are you talking perfumes? Yeah,
Yeah.
great. Right. So we had to find a location to produce, and we found that Dubai was the best location with the best infrastructure. The ecosystem in Dubai is actually fantastic. You got everything there. You got bottlers, you got packing material people, you got factories to bottle, bottle suppliers, box suppliers, the whole works. So we said that's a good place to start and peg your tent. But at the same time, we found that there were literally hundreds of people making perfumes. Anybody with a little money in his pocket went and bought some juice, put it in a bottle, slapped a label on it, and he was a brand. Essentially selling moderate to low price perfumes in volumes, because that's where the market is. And of course, customers like the prices. But synthetic perfume was an issue. So if that was the general trend of everybody else, as usual, we began to swim upriver, completely different contrarian positions. And we said we will build a set of USPs for ourselves, which will hold us in good stead. And the USPs were as follows. The first USP was that we would like to be in floral concentrates, organic floral perfumes, which meant in those days there was no sustainability and environmental talk. It just meant that it is a better quality product which smells nicer and stays longer compared to the synthetics. Undoubtedly, it's a little bit more expensive, but then if you give peanuts, you'll only get monkeys. That's the first of our USPs was we'll be all floral. The second, where do we buy our concentrates from? The best country in the world was France. It was, it is, and will be for quite a few decades, because the exposure, the experience they have, and the skill sets are actually awesome. So we said, okay. So we went and started working with the big French companies. In the beginning, they didn't sort of much care for us because we were a small, unknown company. But as we kept talking, they, I think, understood the nuance that we were serious, even though we were small. And they gave us a lot of support in the development of the perfumes. So we started buying the concentrate from them. And since they have these highly prized, highly paid, skilled individuals called perfumers or noses, we said, why not use them? So we use them to blend all our perfumes. And once they do a blend, we test market it with our customers in our part of the world. Again, very important to understand what the customer is saying, what is he liking, what is he not liking, because he is the source of your future funding. If he likes your product, he buys it. So we keep test marketing, and then we go back to the perfumer and do reblends. So because of this situation, each perfume takes between 12 to 14 months to bring to the table. And it's a game of patience. You have to be persevering. And if you do that, then you finally end with a product which is nice. So when we do our market surveys and we find that some particular perfumes are more popular, more in demand, then we lock those perfumes in with the companies, and then they ship us the product along with the formula and the manufacturing process details to Dubai. Why do we choose Dubai? Because logistics-wise, Asia is much, much cheaper than Europe. It's 1/6 or 1/8 the price. So we do that there. And of course, we have an Iranian lady designer who's very, very good in her work. So she helps us design the look and feel of the product, the bottle coloring, the packaging, the printing, the fonts, how the product will look on a shelf. And she's been working with us for several years now. And once we have packaged the product, we then bring the next USP into play. We lab test all our products. Every batch is lab tested by or according to the government standards, in this case, Dubai. Therefore, we are trying to ensure that nothing can go wrong with the quality, especially since a perfume is used on the body. And if there is some allergic reaction, it can have a big impact on the brand. So we said, no, we will follow the right and proper method. So we get all our perfumes tested and lab tested. And when we came into India and Sri Lanka, there was further testing required as per Indian government rules, Ministry of Health, and Sri Lankan government rules, and we did it. And the perfumes passed. So having done that, we then put the next USP in place. We said it will be a very straightforward, above-the-table business. It will all be licensed and registered as per the government regulations in whichever country it requires it. It's actually painful. It's costly, time-consuming. It's frustrating sometimes. But it's good to do that once, and then the downriver, you are much smoother. The ride is much smoother. So we have got that done.
Wow.
We also believe that perfume is a vanity product. It is not a need, but it's a want.
It's a
I
want.
don't need it. I want it. So when I want it, it's an impulse buy. And if it's an impulse buy, I would like my impulse buy craving satisfied immediately. So you need quick deliveries. So in every country we work in, we have our own warehouses. So we have warehouses now in Kuwait, in Bahrain, in Dubai, in Chennai, in India, in Colombo. Idea is very, very quick delivery. As a result, what has happened is that if I have an inquiry in Chennai, I can deliver in 4 hours. If I have a requirement anywhere else in India, I can put it on the courier the next morning, and within 2.5 days, it's there. So that is the correlation between wanting it and getting it as quickly as tomorrow.
Yeah.
And having done that, we also came across a situation that in addition to the speed of purchase and the speed of delivery, the warehouse also helps us in a different way. All these markets in South Asia, people are perpetually clamoring for credit. And 80% of the time, the credit never gets paid back on time. And we had this problem even in the Middle East. So we thought of a different strategy, completely outside the norms, and said, why do you want credit? So the invariable answer was, oh, the product is new, we've got a old stock, it may not sell, and therefore, we'll be paying interest. So we found a slightly unique way of approaching this problem. We said, don't stock, don't warehouse, don't invest too much. You can even buy 2 bottles at a time. And that's when we brought in one of our final USPs, no minimum order quantities. Whether it's a retailer or a distributor, if he wants 2 pieces, we'll supply him 2 pieces. And we'll supply it to him with the margins which we normally give to a person in his trade. So therefore, I'm obviating the need for credit, because surely if you can't spend 2,000 rupees or 3,000 rupees to do your business, then it's not a business that I should be involved in with you. So this way we have cut this need for credit all across. And at the same time, we are now focusing on the customer completely, because the money is assured the moment the retailer or the distributor buys it. So we are really focusing our time trying to listen to the customer, see what he wants, how can we improve ourselves, how can we improve his experience, because this is not a want, it's not a need, it's a want. So these are the USPs we bring to the table. And then, of course, came the question, how do we satisfy the customer? Each customer is different. He likes different smells. There's a range of smells. So we said, the only way we can do this is to have a very wide portfolio of perfumes in our bag. We don't want a client to walk in and step out saying, I didn't like any of your perfumes. So today we have in the bandwagon, I have 80 perfumes. Over what they are called OD toilets, OD parfums, OD parfum premium, parfums, extrait de parfum. They're all technical jargon. They mean the same thing. They are different types of perfumes based on certain conditionalities. So we have a range of nearly 80 perfumes, and of which 30 have been registered in India, and the other 50 are in application in Delhi. Delhi takes about 2 to 3 months. So hopefully by about middle of May, we should have the entire portfolio with us. So that gives the customer choice, immense choice. I don't think there's a single retailer in the country at that stage in 3 months' time who will have a lineup of different perfumes of this size and range. And each one does their business differently. We believe that giving the choice to the customer is good, even up to the point of maybe confusing him a bit. He doesn't know which one to buy because he likes 2 or 3. But that's better than having a situation where he walks away saying he didn't like the perfumes. So we have that choice. Then came the question of affordability, because perfumes have always been looked upon as a luxury item,
Yes.
extremely expensive, and therefore to be bought very sparingly and used even more sparingly. I know people who run 1 bottle for 6 months. They use it only on occasions. But we believe that occasional is good as long as every day is an occasion. So technically speaking, you should be using perfumes every day. It's a lifestyle. Just as much as you have a shower and wear a new dress today, you wear a new perfume the next morning. It's a mood enhancer.
Yeah,
So,
I definitely get that.
so we structured our costing in such a way that we said we do not want to spend money on advertising, which is very expensive. Whether it is TV, whether it is radio, whether it is print media, or point of sale, We'd rather put the money into the product and let the product speak for itself. That's our concept. And it seems to be working because we've been able to bring very, very attractive price points to the market, not only in India, but in other countries also. And sustained with all the other USPs of being French, being floral, being lab tested, the whole works. So today, for example, you're a perfume person, we have brought our entire range of OD toilets into the market, 20 perfumes, at a very interesting price of $5.99, including an 18% GST, which is under $8. Fully lab tested. Every perfume is safe. Range of smells is 20 over men's and women's, and that's the point to start. And of course, as we go to the next brand, this brand is called Gaziano. It's an Italian name, and it has both men's and women's perfumes, all French. Then we go one step higher to the eau de parfums, where general brands will invariably put about 8 to 11% concentrate. We want to be different, so we go 15%. We increase the cost of the concentrate to make sure the quality is even higher. And that's a range of another 12 perfumes in the market, both men's and women's. But that's not enough because we are in the retail business in Bahrain. And when we go to the malls, and we work in 4 malls already, when we go and approach the better malls, they say, oh, but we want you to sell more expensive product, bring in more quality. So we are constantly innovating with our partners in France to bring in better perfumes, more expensive perfumes, but higher quality perfumes. So the next range we did was called the eau de parfum, but premium. We went to 19% concentrate. Very, very few perfumes in the market have 19%. And we not only brought the 19% there, it gives you a great staying power. Those perfumes stay on the body for 4 to 6 hours or 8 hours. What we also did was we twisted the perfume, 90% French, 10% we added some Middle Eastern ingredient called oud. And therefore, it gives a very definitive flavor to the perfume, which you would not be able to find when you go into the next store down the road, because not too many people make it. So we have a range of 11 perfumes there. Constantly, we are hunting for better quality and better. So we did the next brand, which is called Aralia Iconic. And the Aralia Iconic, we took it as a parfum. So we crossed the 19% barrier. We went to a 21% concentrate, which is about the highest you'll find in general perfumes worldwide. And we upped the quality of our concentrate to something like $400-500 a kilo. Premium perfume, beautiful smells. They stay for 8 hours, and we have a range of 10 perfumes. We are pricing it at $150 or about 11,000 rupees. Why? Because you're a great perfume user. You're exposed to the international market through the duty-free shops, and you'll find that these type of twisted perfumes, a few brands make it, like Tom Ford, Lancome, Gucci, but they're all sitting at $300. $300 a bottle for a 50 ml bottle, whereas we give a 100 ml bottle for close to half the price. High quality, great range, and very, very affordable. Idea is we want our customers to use perfumes on a daily basis, whether it's an OD toilet for the daytime, an OD perfume for the afternoon, or a perfume or a perfume oil for the evenings. And the next range we have now brought in, and currently in license application in Delhi, are the small perfume oils. They are 12 ml bottles, very high concentrate, 60% concentration. The beauty with the 60% concentration is high quality, won't spoil your clothes, and once you apply it, just a touch on your pulse point, it will stay for 12 to 14 hours. So it's small, it's compact, it's high quality, stays very long, and it can fit into any lady's handbag without a problem. It's only 2.5 inches high, and it's 1.5 inches in diameter. So that's another range where we have about 30 perfumes we have brought in, male 10, French, female French 10, and we have the oriental perfumes with the twist, another 10. And we are very excited because that has found a very good reaction in the Sri Lankan market, and it's moving extremely well for us. So as a result, the platform is ready, the warehouse is ready, the products are half the 30 there and 50 coming in, and we are now gearing up to see how we should make our presence felt in the market. We had a very nice platform on BNI, and through BNI, I found GWN, and of course, I've been talking to Neeraj and Devanshi, and they've been all so helpful and supportive. And it's a new journey which I'm picking up new friends. And yesterday I met you. So this could be interesting, and we believe that the future is it's wide open. It's a new category coming up because of the range, and we are looking at contacts. We are looking at connections. It could be
Yes.
distributors.
And there is one connection we got here, that's Samira from Turkey, and she would like to connect with us. I think she's got
Okay,
some question. Uh, Hi,
Samira.
Samira. Yeah. Can you unmute yourself, please? I'm not able to do
Hello, this is
that.
Samra.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Welcome.
Have, thank you. I'm so happy to join you. How do you do?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you? How is everything there?
Fine. I'm so happy at this moment. Please follow. I'm just listening.
Okay. So you have any questions regarding perfumes, or you have any questions to Nat?
Maybe later, because I just joined.
Okay.
I try to understand the subject later
Yeah,
on. Please go.
basically we are talking about perfumes. Nat is he owns a company called Laurel Perfumes, and we were all talking about perfumes. The
Yeah, that's good.
journey, and
Good
yes, of
subject.
course.
Very good product and also good subject. It's also so concerning the wedding organization. We also sometimes offer to our guests some specials and also some local perfumes, something like that. But not a trade, but some local.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining. And we
Thank you
also
very
have,
much.
yeah, we also
Later on, if I will join to you, I will ask you some questions.
Yes, we also have Sunny here. He also has a question. Sunny, can you please come unmute yourself?
Yeah, yes. Hi, Nat. How are you doing today?
Hi, Sunny. You're a household name in Chennai, Sunny.
Thank you, Nat. But today is more about you. Nat, if you, Deepika, with your permission, can I ask a quick question? Is that
Sure,
okay?
definitely, yes.
Great,
Certainly.
awesome. So, Nat, I don't know if you know, I'm a huge fan of perfumes. I have more than 15 perfumes at home, and I use different perfumes every other day for different occasions. Definitely knowing that I know someone in the line, the expertise in the forte. I had a question in terms of. So I'm a big fan of this brand called Armaf. It's from the Middle
Okay.
East,
Right.
and it's called Hunter. And I would like to
Okay.
know that more on the notes. What are the notes are used in that, and what notes do you suggest more towards the men's side? I mean, there are certain notes which are for female and more for men. Something on like on the Armaf side. If you could just put some light on that.
Okay, Sunny, I normally do not comment on other brands or other people's perfumes because we have our hands full trying to promote our brands and concentrating on what we are making an offer to the customer. So having said that, yes, good perfumes have a range of notes, generally 3 levels. They are called top note, mid note, and base note, and they emanate these notes at different times. When you initially spray the perfume, you get a smell around you. The people around you can smell it. It's called silage. And then thereafter, you will get the first note coming up. Depending on the perfume, it could have a number of ingredients in the first note. And then subsequently,
Okay.
after a little bit, you get the second note coming up. And there's a huge choice. So you can actually choose your perfume based on the notes that you want, or you can choose the perfume based on the smell that you like, and then learn a little bit more about the notes that come forward. Both
So
ways very workable.
So if I want to test your perfumes and look at buying something to understand your brand better, how do I get in touch with you to test it?
Yeah, we have an office in Chennai. I will send you the address when we finish this meeting by evening. You're free to walk over and meet up there. I give you the contact person and just go through the smells. We have got about 29 perfumes right now, which are covered by OD toilets, which are a little lighter, good for the daytime. and eau de parfums which are a little heavier, good for the afternoons and evenings. And the moment we get the other 3 ranges in place from Delhi, it'll have a good 80 perfume range, with including heavier perfumes for the evenings.
Great. Thank you so much, Nat. Looking forward to see you.
Absolutely. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words, and a smell is worth 1,000 pictures. Nothing like
Agree
that.
with you. I agree with you on that. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you,
Most
Sunny,
welcome.
for that beautiful question. Yes, I was also going through that question itself. That what would you suggest would be great perfumes? Like, what are the key notes you would suggest? Like, a woman should pursue for those ingredients in a perfume, and men.
See, the problem in this line, Deepika, is every individual is different. I like something, you may like something else. So my job as a person creating these perfumes is to have a wide enough range which tends to cater to the necessities of different target groups. So there's no right and there's no wrong. There's no best note and worst note. What you like, somebody else may like something even better, or may like a different note. So therefore, I would hesitate to say this is the best note for you. But what I would encourage is, yes, try and smell the whole range, because then ultimately you will boil down to maybe 4 or 5 perfumes which you like, and then you continue using those.
Yes, definitely.
The
But then
range is very, very wide.
the range, yeah, in terms of talking about the range also, like what are the most wanted perfumes, like the smell which these like men and women want? Like, I'm just asking out of curiosity. Like, I am
You
more
will
of a unisex person where I like more stronger smell, and I like more of men perfume rather than a women perfume. But recently I've developed a new smell for women perfume also, which are very sweet ones. So
right.
it obviously depends on what mood you are in. I myself own so many perfumes. Like, I'm a perfume lover, I told you yesterday, right? So that is what I was just
I'm your best
curious.
friend.
Yes, I am your
Your
best
best
friend.
friend.
Definitely. So I was just curious about this question was hovering in my mind the whole day. That what are the there are particular thing which men and women, they really want in their perfume. What would be that?
Again, it's very individualistic. If you allow me to show you, this is technical data
Okay.
on different perfumes, different notes, different ranges, different ingredients, and it's nothing that you can keep in the mind. When a question is asked, we actually go through physically and say this perfume has these notes, because the number of ingredients in each perfume can be about 20 to 30 ingredients. Some comprising the top note, some comprising the middle note, some comprising the last note. Very difficult to give you a specific answer and say, wow, you should be going for this note or this particular ingredient. It could be rose, it could be jasmine, it could be patchouli, it could be vetiver, it could be anything. But each one combined in a particular fashion is what gives you the magic of that particular perfume. No two perfumes are similar. Each one is very different, very distinct, and it's quite difficult to re-engineer and copy a perfume. That's why in the perfume world, what happens is people will tend to use certain perfumes which are fast moving in the world market as an inspiration. When I say inspiration and you smell a particular perfume of ours, it might remind you of that particular perfume. It's never the same. We have our own twists, they have their own twists. So that's how the perfume world works. Invariably, they're all looking at what's moving well and how do we twist it, how do we give it our own individualist character. And then that becomes our brand or our SKU.
And what is your favorite note?
My favorite note, I personally like jasmine a lot.
Oh.
If it's nicely done, very delicately done, it can be a great perfume. But for the daytime, I definitely go for more of the citrus aquatic perfumes, because they are lighter and they sit on the skin and you don't require it for too long. 2, 3, 4 hours is enough. But the afternoon perfumes are a little heavier, and there, of course, you can go. And I like oud a lot. I'm a great fan of oud, and I've got a range of about 6, 7 ouds sitting on my table, and I keep changing it every day because it's an enhancer.
So, and what about me? Like, you just said, Sunny, about the Chennai thing. I can't go Chennai right now, but then what about us? Like, is there any other way where we can, look for the perfumes or something like that? Like people who are here in the other part.
Let me put it this way. Go through our website, choose 1 or 2 perfumes. It's not expensive. It's well worth the trial, and test it out. Just pick up 1 piece each of 2 or 3 different perfumes. The notes, we can send you the notes. We can give you detailed information on the notes. Based on the notes, you say, oh yes, I like this or I like that. Try out 2 or 3 and try them in different brands, because each brand has got a different nuance. It's got more concentration, maybe a little bit more expensive. But right now, our perfumes are at very well priced. It's $5.99 and $13.99, unbeatable prices in the market, and we are as good as anything in the duty-free shop. As good. As manufacturers, I'm telling you that.
So what led you into this platform?
As I explained in the beginning, there was no particular penchant for perfume. It's a nice line to be in, but the first basket to be reviewed was, is there a gap in the market? Because ultimately, as they said, you have to keep your product profile simple. It's perfumes. So, as I said yesterday, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. Performance is the ultimate satisfaction. So if it doesn't sell, whatever you do is not okay, because the customer is not accepting you. So therefore, we need to make it sell. So if there's a gap in the market, that's the first step to getting customer acceptance, because he's not getting an alternative. That's what started this journey. And we keep looking for new areas to invest in based on these basic principles. And if the basic principle is good, then we go into it head on. We don't want to be the biggest in town. We certainly like to be the best in town.
Wow.
That's
nice. So, it just popped in my head, and I am very impromptu in all these questions. I told you I don't prepare any questions. It's just whenever we have a conversation, it just pops in my mind, and I ask you that time. So Valentine Week is here, and everybody is celebrating Valentine Week with this or that, teddy, chocolates, and different things. So many things are there. Obviously, there in Valentine Week. So there are perfumes which really attracts men and women. So what is that special note which really attracts men and women, so that people can understand, and then they can gift their loved ones?
citrus base is generally very universally accepted. Floral base of roses or jasmine is accepted, but more in pockets, because some people like one, some people like the other. But across the world, you see that the lighter perfume citrus is definitely good. You'll find a lot of activity around the concept of citrus. And similarly, when you go into the heavier perfumes, you'll find the slightly sweeter perfumes do well. In the male crowd, of course, the macho perfumes have all got leather, tobacco, these type of flavors, which can be very, very interesting. In fact, if you look at, say, a Tom Ford oud, which is basically leather and oud, he sells $330 for a 50 ml perfume. And we have 3 or 4 of our SKUs centered around leather and centered around oud. And it's exotic. It's very personal. I love it. And a lot of people like it all over the Middle East. The younger Arabs like the lighter perfumes. The older Arabs like the very strong perfumes. So for the older Arab market, we do high quality, very strong perfume oils. You and I would not like it, but there's a huge market there, the elder generation, who love those oils, and they'll pay anything for it. To give you an example, a small 12 ml bottle could go up to $100, $150. And I was in the Dubai Mall just before COVID. I walked into the Christian Dior store. They had a 4 ml bottle, and you won't believe the price, $340 US. 4 ml.
May I ask
So-
one question?
Yeah,
Yes,
sure,
ma'am.
definitely.
Samira, welcome. Nice to have you with us.
Hello. Thank you very much for all the information. I would like to ask one question. I live in Antalya, and then also maybe you know in Antalya, site of Mediterranean, and the weather is summertime is very hot and high humidity. Do you
Right.
offer the men which kind of perfume must use to this climate?
In the warmer climates, you want to feel lighter and fresher. So I would certainly recommend in the daytime a range of OD toilets. They are very light. They don't
Yeah.
they don't smell on the body, and they make you really feel fresh. And in such a situation, if it's very warm, I would suggest maybe 2-3 applications. One after a shower, one you just freshen up midday, and again apply. It's very nice. It really freshens you up.
Yeah,
Now,
and
even
the
in a
other,
moderate, like, go ahead.
yeah, one more question. And the perfume, it's concerning the skin color. Is that true or not true? If you have the pale skin or color, dark skin, you should have to use to fresh. If you have pale skin, you should have to fresh perfume or other perfumes, a heavy perfume.
I have not come across any data or scientific statistics to sort of prove or disprove what you're saying. A perfume is really a universal product. People all over the world use perfumes, whether they are from Africa or whether they are from Europe or whether they are from Asia. I have never ever come across anything specific which says that the lighter skinned people must use one type of perfume and the darker skinned people must use a different one. I have never come across it.
I am. My husband likes to use the perfume, and
Right.
also he is a very pale skin. But sometimes
Okay.
he uses a very heavy perfumes. In nighttime it's okay, but daytime it's smelling is very hot.
Yes, that's why daytime perfumes are normally OD toilets. They are very lighter.
Yeah.
They keep the body light and they make you feel a little bit more fresher. So it's always always good to go for the OD toilets.
Thank you very much for your information.
Thank you, Samira, for that beautiful question.
Thank you.
And also one more question I have, like she was just talking about the whole thing. So one more question it just popped up. Like there is a myth that you should never use your perfume on skin. So is it true or not? Like you should use it on your clothes or what you're wearing. But I think perfumes are more towards your skin, which enhances the smell of the perfume, the notes of the perfume.
I don't think, I think it's still a myth and let it remain a myth. Many people worldwide use perfume on the body. When you can use a deodorant spray on your chest on your skin after a fresh bath, it's the same concept. It's just that the deodorant spray is gas-based, perfumes are alcohol-based, and these are all very mild, denatured perfumes. The alcohol disappears in a hurry and the perfume stays behind. There is absolutely no problem, provided the perfume is safe, it has been lab tested for reactions, and there are something called allergens. All perfumes have got some component called allergens. One is always testing the allergens to see that there is no adverse reaction on the body. And that is why lab testing of the perfumes is very critical. If you are really a perfume lover and you want to protect yourself, the next time you go to a perfume shop, ask him 3 questions. Are you lab tested? Can you show me a certificate? Are you licensed? Because when he is licensed, he has to follow certain protocols. Are you registered? And if they are not following the protocols, they don't get the license and registration, then he is suspect. He is suspect. You have to protect yourself. As they say, buyers beware. For him, the moment he gets your money, the sale is done and he doesn't care who you are the next moment. But from your point of view, you need to protect yourself because you might like the perfume and go back again. You need to ensure what you're buying is safe, is lab tested, and gives you the comfort that you should get as a non-technical buyer.
So that is what everyone, I hope everyone listens to it. And next time I can be swayed away, like in a mall, if a person, if the salesman comes and tell me, madam ye perfume dekhiye bahut acha hai, and I like, हाँ दिखाइए भैया, and then I really get swayed away with this. So now I am really going to ask him these 3 questions before buying that perfume, because my mom, she really gets curious whenever I go for a shopping or something like that. I end up buying 1 or 2 perfumes for myself, though I went for something else. I don't buy those things, but I end up buying a perfume, definitely.
So the next time you meet the salesman, you sway him and say, "Badhiya hai bhaiya, where is your lab test? Where is your registration? Can I see it?" When you see that and you make yourself comfortable, then you test it out.
Yes.
A lot of perfumes in the market don't have any pedigree. They sell because they're cheap and they're available, and there's a big margin for the distributor or the retailer, and it's pushed. Unfortunately, it is buyers beware. It's up to the buyer to be a little more careful to ensure that he's buying a reasonable quality product which is safe. Safety is number 1. Choice of smell is number 2.
Oh, definitely, definitely. So that was all
Be
from
careful.
my end. If is there any other people who would like to ask question from our members who are here, participants?
Yes, I think Deepika, more or less, people have already been asking questions throughout the session. So it has been really interactive and really nice.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Global Wedding Network, for this platform. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Thank you, Neeraj. And last but not the least, thank you so much, Nat, for being here on this KYM. And it was really, really nice talking to you.
No, it's my pleasure. I must thank GWN for the opportunity, Neeraj and the whole team there for their support, and of course it has been